Welcome to a Monday episode of Vaygrim's Chance. I am working on and thinking of all things blood armor. Now, okay, here's first a little thing we need to go over is blood armor, bound armor. It has been so long, it's been over a year since I've actually had to make a set of this stuff that I've got the dynamics a little backwards. Originally, I was remembering, and the way I read the wiki for the Blood Magic wiki, each piece of armor can support one effect. You put a weak blood shard into it to have it support an additional effect, right? And the best example of this to give me reinforcement to that working is the bound helmet. The bound helmet, the divination sigil, and the sigil of the blood lamp, both effects work. So that reinforced that belief system that I had. But a lot of you gave some really good comments on that, and I do appreciate them. Positive feedback saying, hey, Vaygrim, just FYI, the weak blood shard only supports the first sigil. The divination sigil is a free effect, quote unquote. That threw the whole curve off. I had to go back to the drawing board and do some more researching. And sure enough, I have reread what I skimmed over improperly the first time around, and you're all right. Wait a minute, let me rephrase it. You are all correct. You're all right, people, but you're also all correct. So I actually can only get the first thing that's socketed in, which is the lava sigil in the case of the armor. I need to branch out into elementals and the great, what are they called? They're right here, the demon blood shards. That's the greater blood shards that I have to get from summoning elementals. So we're going to have to get into that in future episodes, and I will get into that, but that's not what we're doing now. You can take this stuff apart. I think it's a ritual of unbinding that you need to make. It's like the ritual of binding that I have set up right over here. It's like this, but it's a slightly different pattern of stones. I'm probably going to set it up over there, or maybe take that down and turn it into an unbinding ritual. And you can take these things apart, get all the stuff back, and then we will basically redo the armor. And when I redo them, I will redo them with some demon blood shards. So in the meantime, I do actually have, where'd I put them? Right there, the filled sockets for my boots. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have those for my boots. Those are ready. I'm going to just kind of set those aside so that I can, so that I don't have to worry about, what I actually, what effects I want to put in them, etc., etc. That means we can come back to that when it is necessary. Okay, I am preparing for a big project. Nope, that's not right. I need blood runes, which is the normal slates. But just in case, I'm going to take those with me for giggles. Let's get that. Ooh, one of those. Actually, I like leaving one of these each here for the sake of setting the LP system to properly extract the right kind. I need to make, I'm going to need one of those. And I'm going to put that there. I'm going to divide those. And then I'm going to do that. I'm going to make a lot of ritual stone. A lot of ritual stone. And the main reason for making all of the ritual stone, let's see. That's not even close to right. I want stone, and then we go all the way back to the beginning. Let's get, I don't know, two stacks? The reason that I'm actually making all of these blood runes is because it is time for me to build the power source, the thing that's going to turn into the power source for our blood network. The main source of blood of LP in our LP network from this point forward. What's the recipe for this thing? It's a blood shard. I'm just actually going to take one of these. I'm going to leave this here for the sake of crafting. I need, let's see, a blood altar. I'm just going to snag one that way. I need to look at a recipe for a beacon. What is it? Yeah, there it is. Okay. Okay, that's one nether star. So I need one of those at each of the four corners. That's expensive. Obsidian, I'm gonna need that's 1, 2, is that the right kind of? Yeah. 3, 4. Let's go down to the main LP system. I'm gonna go ahead and make these things. We've got all of our patrons, past and present patrons. By the way, these are not all current patron statues. That might have been misunderstood. Some people ask me that after the fact. These are not all current patron statues. These are people that have been patrons in the past for this series since I started season 3 and are currently. So if you become a patron for a month and then can't patronize me anymore, technically speaking, you will get a statue. I just need to stay on top of it better. We're going to do that right there. I'm going to do that across the bottom. I need a whole, I'm just going to request a stack of glass. We have 4 beacons. Hooray. Now what we need to do is, of course, whoops, wait a minute. I didn't bring them with me. Let's do that for the sake of posterity. I'm going to need, let's see, glass. Dark glass. That is perfect. I'm going to need several stacks of that. I'm going to grab 1 stack as a reminder. I need also, let's see. Do I want to keep that? Yeah, I think I want to just do that for now. I can't remember how many stacks we're going to need, so I'm going to do it that way. Cursed Earth. I'm going to get a stack of that as a reminder. Let's go upstairs. I've got a chest right here next to Cena Pond, which has 4 very important things in it for witch spawners. Here's what we're going to do today. Let's go into the TARDIS. I actually haven't done much in this. I have not really done much in the way of, let's see, is it over here? It is over here. I haven't done much in the way of actually getting this set up. So yeah, here's what we're going to do. I am going to have, I'm going to need as much of this dark glass as I can get, and my building wand, I'm going to put you aside for the time being. This is going to be a corner, and then I'm going to do like this, and basically what I'm going to do, whoa, no, that's not even close to right. Come here. Let's do that. Okay. I'm going to box in this entire area underneath this altar. I'm going to box it in, and I'm going to set up a well of suffering. This well of suffering is going to be making the lives of several witches very, very hard. Now, that's where the witch spawners come in. First off, there's a very special kind of a weird attribute to the dimension that this TARDIS control room, or this TARDIS dimension is. This whole TARDIS dimension that I'm in has a very special property. Normal monster spawns are turned off. Now, if I have monster eggs, those will work, and if I have spawners, those will work. But since all the Cursed Earth does is accelerate normal spawn rates, well, that basically means that you end up with a situation of having no working Cursed Earth. There is something else. I shall warn the locals. That's I7X Shadows. He's actually one of our friends. He was actually a part of the pack development team, but he's also a Bromigo. He leads a complicated life. Actually, I'm not going to do the outside yet. But Cursed Earth has another property. Cursed Earth, when you put a normal spawner on Cursed Earth, a vanilla spawner, it accelerates it. And it keeps working even when a player is not nearby. See, normal spawners require a player's presence in proximity in order for them to do anything. Now, what this means is I can put down, let's say, if they don't know the danger of being around me by now. If I put down these 4 witch spawners on a ground that is basically made of, is that going to mess things up? I think, it's all right. It's all right. So basically, my first mage hut burned down. Yeah, I saw the aftermath. Poor guy. If I put these witches spawners down on this Cursed Earth, they will start working as if they are a powered spawner, which is very, very cool. So, we need a lot more dark glass. I can do that and turn this whole thing into a massive witch spawner chamber. Now, in order for these spawners to work, there has to be a certain amount of darkness, which is a little complicated, but nothing that you don't have the right block. Wow, I ran out already. Ooh, okay. Nope, not dark glass. Let's do dark G. I'm just gonna, I don't know, grab a whole bunch more. Running up the EMC bill here today. Let's do that. We're gonna pull this across. Let's do that. Now, we are going to have, we're about to have, correction. An almost completely boxed in area. I'm going to fill in the rest of this, like, this is going to have to be our, we can actually get this, we can get a swapping wand. I'm actually going to do, oh, let's put that there. And so we can right click, selected block beacon, doot, doot, and doot. There we go. Okay. I am going to put that back. Wow, battery on my construction wand is running low. I need to build the Extra Utilities construction wand. Yeah, builder's wand from Extra Utilities, because that one doesn't have power. But now that I have nether stars, I can actually make that. That's not that big a deal. Okay. So, let's see. I'm going to have a beacon base right there. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? Let's do this the easy way. I'm just gonna, wait a minute. Out of blocks. The astute observers will notice that the inside of the lower level is not dark yet. There's a reason for that. The floors and the roundels, all of the blocks that make up the TARDIS, glow. And that's a problem. That is a big problem indeed. So I'm going to do this. Boop, boop, boop. Let's do this. Now, many astute people have told me it doesn't matter what these are. Doesn't matter what these are made out of. 100% aware of that now. I don't have to worry. So what I can actually do is just make all of that constructed out of dark glass. Make it a continuous or contiguous design. Man, this is using a lot of dark glass. So, I did the same design on one of my live streams to test it out to see how it was going to work. It worked out very good. Okay, so I'm going to put... actually, yeah, I'm going to keep that there. Let's do this. I'm going to put that there, put the altar on top. This is basically a mass of dark glass all the way down. I need to figure out what kind of iron block. Do I have? No, it's block of. Oh, dear. Block of coal? No. That's going to be one beacon. I'm going to do these with gold for right now. And just work up from there. Oh, this is going to be expensive. Okay. So now what I can do is I'm going to hire Mr. Hades to come in after later this week. He's going to spiff up this whole area. He's going to make it look nice. It's going to look fabulous. I will probably replace these beacons, these beacon block bases with something else. There we go. Takes them a second to actually trigger. Now, if I want to, I could actually get these things, take them off, and put them in my chisel. Just for giggles. Just for giggles. Let's get one of these. We put it in the chisel, and there's a black beamed beacon. You know what? Actually, oh, that looks awesome. That's ominous as heck. Let's do that. Let's put this in, take out black. It is, after all, one of my 3 favorite colors. Let's do this. Put this in here. These still work as beacons. They do still count as part of the altar structure. We did test that. It is valid to use this because it still counts as a beacon. Ooh, that looks neat. Which means now what I can actually do, we get our swapping wand. I'm going to put my chisel back. I'm going to select a block of this, and I'm just going to do that. I just realized that I may have forgotten something. I might have forgotten. I can make glowstone. I'm actually going to swap out. Now, I cannot make a tier 6 altar yet. I cannot make a tier 6 altar yet because it requires these sparkly crystal cluster things that go at the top right there. And I can't get the materials to make that until I do a demon invasion. And I've let the rest of my server mates know the demon invasion is going to be a public thing. That is not just going to be me doing it. It's going to be us doing it. I want everyone to get the chance and opportunity to be able to take advantage of that if they so want. I am going to keep 1 stack of dark glass and put the rest away. I got this, this, and this. So now I'm going to right click. Let's do that. Do that. I'm trying to swap out as much of this as I can. I'm hoping I'm going to have enough to at least do the tier 5 altar. Yes. Now here's the thing. I'm only going to have a tier 4. Oh gosh, what's the word I'm looking for? A tier 4 orb. That's the word I'm looking for. I'm only going to have a tier 4 orb specifically because, if I remember right, let's go back to Blood Magic. Blood Magic's tier 5 orb, that's tier 5, requires a demon shard. So after I set this up, I'm going to have to immediately then get into demon summoning rituals, and I mean elemental summoning rituals, so I can get demon shards. And that's going to be, I'm going to be a little short, I think. Yep, I am. Out. That's fine though. The outer thing doesn't actually count. Which means now what I need to do is I need to go put those up. Bauxite ore. That is ore gen going slightly grazing. I can put the swapping wand away. I could probably put the building wand away for now. I need some glowstone blocks. Not glowy stone. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not sure if I need to worry about I don't know if I can use chiseled glowstone. I don't know if that still counts, you know. Might be worth a try. Okay, it should be that yeah, tier 3 altar. So tier 1, 1, 2, and then 3. That is a valid tier 3 altar. So I'm actually going to go get some more materials and get some blocks that go up here. Those are the large bloodstone bricks. Did I actually do that? And there we have it. We have gone from a tier 3 to a tier 5 altar. Now, eventually all of these blood runes will get replaced with runes of sacrifice, not self-sacrifice, sacrifice, because this is actually going to be a this is going to be basically powered by witches. So that's very, very cool. Now, the next thing I need to do is set up the cursed earth in here. I'm going to layer it all the way across the bottom so that we can actually start getting ready for all this. Now, here's the funny thing, right? I am completely immune to this stuff right now because, as I said, Cursed Earth doesn't work in a TARDIS dimension. For some reason, at least it did not on the test server. We did not get any monster spawns at all, but the secondary effects of it boosting a spawner do work. And I am already out of Cursed Earth, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get a whole lot of dirt blocks. And I'm going to pull out my... Do not have the right block. Let's just do this. I'm going to pull this over, this over, this over. And it will spread. As the dirt in here blocks the darkness, you see at the far end of the dirt, the darkness is basically spreading. There we go. Now, as we block off this last line of the ground from the TARDIS, it gets very dark very quickly. Come over here. Oh, suddenly we have a very, very dark space. As soon as I get this glass, it goes completely dark in there. We can go and turn on our night vision to see, but that is basically going to slowly spread. You see, it's already started to spread itself. Now, I've got a couple of more components that I just realized I forgot. I'm going to go get those. I'll be right back. Again. Okay. So I now have this structure. This is basically a well of suffering ritual that has been nested so high up that it's touching the tier 4 altar segment. It's right up against it. You can see the rest of it right there. That's a mass of black glass, or dark glass directly over it. I have this to signify where the spawners are going to be. They're going to be evenly spaced out. I'm doing that intentionally because I don't want them too far. I don't want them too close together. But I also don't want them too far apart. I'm not going to put them in the opposite corners. I don't know. A, for symmetry. B, I think there's a mechanical benefit to that. I will state, however, for the record, that I could be guessing on that. I set my ritual diviner to Well of Suffering and just right-clicked the Master Stone. I had 40 stones, 40 ritual stones from the Ritual of the Feathered Knife that we ended up scrapping, which meant that I now have 4 left over because it only takes 36 stones for the Well of Suffering because it's slightly more dangerous. Okay, now, here is where the hard part is going to be. That's going to be a little bit of an understatement. First, I have to test something real quick. Okay, so that does, in fact, light up the area, and it should stop the spawners from working, but it doesn't burn the actual cursed earth. Cursed earth stops working in bright light. But to make matters worse, if I broke a direct line of glass straight up to where that sun is, even that glass overhead will not stop the sun from burning this actual cursed earth. It catches fire and it spreads really quick. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put that down. I think that's bad. I'm actually, just in case, going to do that. Let's get the second one. Put that down. The third one. Put that down. I need to get this ready. I can get that out of the way. Okay, so I have all of the spawners down. The last thing left is to... a rush of energy flows through it. We are going to bust all of these things. And the witches are immediately going to get very cranky with me. They can no longer see me. Well, they can see me, I think, actually. Yep, they can. But they should have greater issues on their mind. There we go. So now what I need to do while this is filling up, you notice we're not getting a lot of blood very, very quickly because this is actually just an ordinary tier 5 altar. We don't have all of the rituals, the stones of sacrifice. The runes of sacrifice will make it to where we get a lot better return on our investment. So for right now, what I actually should do is go back to my normal altar, get its bloodstone, one of those bloodstones, and put it up here. Once I do that, we can actually start seeing if we can make more blood. Actually, you know what I should do? The ritual. Yeah, I'm actually going to go do that real quick. Thank you very, very much for joining me on this episode of Vaygrim's Chance. I really do appreciate it. That ritual is going to serve as the fuel for our blood network. I need to make sure that we're at least net positive on it, though. So I'm going to get it tricked out, and I'm going to monitor it. In the meantime, thank you folks very, very much for joining me. I will catch you on the next episode Wednesday. Bye-bye.